there is a digital supply chain, okay, supply chain operational references framework. Okay, as you see that from the plan, when we are doing the planning, we are armed with big data analytics. Okay, we can do the forecasting and the planning, and we collect the big data and the artificial intelligence. So they are the digital twins. Okay, so once we have a lot of the information, so we can analyze and we can create some kind of the wisdoms for the future. Okay, so it is very good for the future planning, supply chain planning. And how about the sourcing? Okay, once we are sourcing, we have the so-called e-platform procurements. We have the platforms for procurements, and it's very easy for us to find the suppliers. Okay, it's very easy to find the suppliers. Okay, now it already become reality. I think a lot of the Indonesian, you already have the experiences to buy the goods from Taobao, right? Taobao, actually it is a product arms of the Alibaba. Okay, Alibaba actually it is e-procurement platforms. Okay, so you know the international buyers. Okay, at that time they come to China, it's difficult for them to find the required and the suppliers. So at that time they can only rely on the China yellow page, one page by one pages. There are some small advertisements on the yellow pages. Okay, but now Alibaba already become an e-platform. The international buyers, they no need to go to China. They just need to log into the Alibaba the platforms. They can easily find the suppliers. Okay, the suppliers. Okay, so it makes the outsourcing become extremely easy. Okay, so that's what I call as e-procurements. And the second is the supplier collaborative protocols. Okay, and once you already have find the right suppliers, okay, you can build it up collaborative protocols, enable you both to connecting and do the data exchange. Okay, so this is what we call suppliers collaboratory protocols. You know the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, TSMC, about 20 years ago, they already have a slogan, say TSMC is your virtual fab. Virtual fab. Okay, fab is the factory, factory for the wafer. Okay, the silicon wafer. Virtual fab. How can they become a virtual fab? That means if you are the chips companies, you don't need to build up your semiconductor manufacture facility. Okay, through the supplier collaborative protocols, and they can exchange the data interchange systems. Okay, so you are as if you are controlling, okay, your production processes, as if you have a virtual fab. Okay, so this is the supplier collaborative protocols. It was one of the successful secret formulas for the TSMC 20 years ago. They already building up the supplier collaborative protocols already. Okay. And then makes, as I say, it's an additive manufacturing. For example, like the 3D printing is the most fundamental one, additive manufacturing. Okay, and it can save the resources and also increase the efficiency as well. And also the virtual reality and augmented realities. And virtual reality and augmented reality, it is good for the customer side to have the real experiences about your products, but also when you are trying to make these products. In the past, we need to have some machinery, graphing, designing. It takes for a long time. But now, in the making processes, the virtual reality and augmented reality also can help you to scan and create the virtual about the products for the engineering to see if it is proper. No need to produce the prototype to see how it looks like. Okay, they already can have the virtual reality or augmented reality to see what is the possible for the future real products. It largely reduces the engineering time. Okay, and also for the production, as I said, robotics and the IoTs. Okay, make the mass customizations become possible. Okay, and also for the delivery, such like the drones. Okay, unmanned aerial vehicles. Okay, they can deliver. Okay, but it's still underdeveloped. Okay, but in some American the company, for example, like Amazon's, in some area they are already become reality to have the drones. Okay, but because in Taiwan and in China, most of people we are living in the big apartments. Okay, how can drone deliver indoors? Okay, it's almost impossible. But for American, you have a big gardens, right? In those big garden, the villas, okay, the drone is very easy to carry the goods and place the goods you want in front of your doorstairs. Okay, they can do that. But in apartment and the population density area like Taiwan, China, and Indonesia, I see there is a much fewer possibility for the future. Okay, and also there is a smart driverless transportation systems. Okay, now the autopiloting, okay, become possible. Okay, autopiloting. We all know that the Tesla in the next year they are going to launch the level 5 autopiloting systems. Okay, it will become possible, right? Also, as I said, the delivery, okay, the GPS and the RFID, they are already become very basics one. And also smart forklifts and the cranes, okay, movers, etc. They will become much more smart and much more efficient. And also the excellent sourcing, the blockchain technologies. Every product has been carefully recoded, okay, about what machinery or what robots or which companies have processing on these products. Then it's easy for us to trace back, okay, the products once they have problems. And data and text mining is also the excellency tool for the sourcings, digital data management, procurement platform, robotic processing automation. Okay, all those, okay, it will have excellent sourcings and it will improve the digital supply chains. Okay. Then we should think about how can we help SME, particularly in Indonesia. As I know, SMEs in Indonesia, they not only have a small and medium-sized enterprises, but also they have a micro enterprises. Then how can we help them? From the government perspective, from the bank perspective, or industrial perspective, or e-platform perspective. For the government and the banks, we always have the information asymmetric problems. Okay, the information asymmetrics means sometimes the governments and the banks, they try to help the micro and the SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises, but they don't know who, okay, or which firms they should help. Okay, which firms they should give the proper aid to these firms. Particularly, a lot of the micro and small medium-sized enterprises, they did not provide the accuracy informations to the governments for a number of the reasons. For example, like the tax evasions, so they don't want the government to know, okay, what they are doing, what is their real situation and the conditions. So the information asymmetric problems for the governments and the banks, I think that's the major difficulties. And as for the industrial organizations, if these firms is in industrial organizations, as I say, in Taiwan, we tend to have the central satellites, industrial organization systems. And once you are in a supply chain, in industrial organizations, is the other industrial organizations can take the responsibility to help or to transfer some necessary resource to those small and medium-sized enterprises or not? I think that is also a question mark. I'm not quite sure for that. In Taiwan, for example, a lot of the technological issues or technological improvement are initiated by the central firms. And then those satellite firms, or the firms in the supply chain, they have to follow the technical requirements set up by the central firms. Okay? And then the central firms also try to help the satellite firms in terms of technological requirements because they need to meet the protocol or they may need to meet the demands together. Okay? So, the industry organization sometimes they take the bigger responsibility in Taiwan to help other small and medium-sized enterprises in a supply chain. Okay. Another case is the Alibaba's case. Later I will talking more about the Alibaba's case. Okay, because I used to be the external advisor to Alibaba Taiwan, so I had the honor to know some about e-platform companies, okay, how the e-platform companies can run, okay, to help the small and medium-sized enterprises. Okay. Thinking about that, what is the biggest advantages about the e-platform companies? Do anyone have the idea for that? I think the biggest advantages for the e-platform is that they don't have the information asymmetry problem. Because the e-platform, they have a very complete informations of the transactions about particular firms or to any firms once they have the transactions over these platforms. So therefore, in some area of the China, there are some extremely poverty provinces in China and the counties in China. The local governments, they are working with the e-platform company, such as Alibaba, okay, to overcome the information asymmetric problems. Okay, so therefore they know what exactly the small and medium-sized firms they required. And also because Alibaba, they also want to increase their businesses, they also take the initiative to help the SMEs to be able to work on their platforms. So actually the Alibaba, even though you have to pay some e-platform charges, but at least a lot of the hardware and the software expenses, it has been covered by Alibaba. There is no need to pay those initial expenditures for the small and medium-sized enterprises. Okay. And also, the e-platform companies also help to reshape the industry organizations. Okay. So once you are able to have your uniqueness, okay, unique characteristics in the platforms, you still can be seen by other buyers or other companies. They want to procure some other particular products. So later I will talking about the case about Alibaba and how Alibaba help, okay, to improve the small and medium-sized enterprises.